Is that Garfield? Was that Garfield? Damn, I knew the movie sucked. I didn't remember it being that bad. Holy shit.
It's no secret by now that the so-called AAA
Wait, that had
industry
nothing to do
is
with
all
anything
in
else?
on socially charged gaming experiences.
Okay.
The unsustainably saturated live service marketplace that has given us such award-winning triumphs in excellence
Best value.
as Anthem, Fallout 76, and The Culling 2 has brought with it the expectation that we're not supposed to just enjoy and play video games on our own.
No.
And as for playing any of this shit offline, you're having a laugh, ain't ya? We're supposed to enjoy...
Look, I like playing online games. Like, to be honest, I could never imagine myself playing offline games. You know, this is 2019, and, you know, in my mind, there might only be two genders, but there's only one way of playing games, and that's online. All right? I like playing online games. I love online games. Dark Souls, I play Dark Souls with the invasions up online all the time, off stream. I just can't do it on stream because there's hackers, that's all. I love online games. I always have. I've always been really passionate about them. What really gets me excited about video gaming nowadays is like the online interactions.
them with other people around the world, constantly connected, whether we like people or not. People have been playing video games with and against each other for decades.
Yes.
Of course, the concept of multiplayer is nothing new, but we're beyond simple multiplayer these days. We're expected to interact with each other on more casual, albeit more pervasive and complex levels. The rise of social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook means we're more connected than ever, more exposed to each other's bullshit, and video games want a slice of that action. If you were...
Let's just look right here. I want to pause this. I'm gonna just go ahead and minimize this real quick. Let's see right here. Let's go over to here, and we'll look at the what's the system? How do you set up Twitter integration? I actually have no fucking idea how to set up Twitter integration. I have no fucking clue. I'm just thinking about that. Like, I've never even tried to do it. But, like, WoW did the same thing in fucking WoD, dude. Like, everybody wants to get people on social media talking about their games. They basically want to use people as advertisements.
To ask Electronic Arts CEO Andrew Wilson about it, it's something we're all begging for. In a so-called candid interview with the uncannily robotic executive, Wilson justified his company's push toward more social experiences as something the market demands, and he pushes this angle hard. The word social comes up no less than 9 times in the interview as Android Wilson deploys his narrative. Once you get to the point where social interaction is really, really important, then you discover that network effect in the context of games is as important as it is for Facebook, or Snapchat, or Twitter, or any of these other social grounds, he said. Once you come to terms with that, what you understand is that people will come together to consume this content together, and they will want to stay and continue
Am I being assimilated right now?
And fuel those relationships as part of that. The reality is that is going to mean games as service is going to be foundational to our industry, because that is how you will fulfill the motivations of players who have social interaction at the very core of why many of them play games for much of the time they play. Wilson is saying social networking is just as important in a video game as it is on Facebook, which is one hell of a bold take.
Yeah, because I really want to make sure that I'm networking with Kyle, the 14-year-old from Wisconsin who pisses Mountain Dew and bleeds fucking G Fuel. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what I'm looking to do, right? I really want to interact with Kyle. I mean, these fucking things, like these social networks, it's very simple. They want people to go online and talk about their games, to use people's social media presences as a vehicle to advertise their fucking game. Like, that's what's going on. That's what it's about. That's why they care, all right? It's not about, oh, they want to bring people together. The only thing they want to bring together is people's wallets or their wallets and other people's money. That's the only thing they give a fuck about.
Now, there seems to be no real evidence for his belief that it's that important. Outside of financial reasons, but we'll get to that. He just states it like it's a given, a fact, something we've all already accepted.
Now, and this is a WoW stream. This is a WoW, like a WoW, like, channel, whatever. So, like, a lot of us are actually friendly towards the idea of social interaction in games. But there are some games that you don't need social interaction for. For example, Sonic. I don't need to have a Twitter account connected to my Sonic account. All I need to do is go fast. That's it. There's a million other games like that too. You don't need a Doom. Yeah, Doom 1 and 2, Tetris. So you play against other people in Tetris. There are plenty of games that don't need to have social media integration built into them.
Personally, I'd love to know who he asked to reach this conclusion, a conclusion he's already treating as something obvious, something irrefutable, something we've all got to acknowledge. I'd love to know which video game players are going around saying, I really love Fallout, but I wish it were more like Twitter. Actually, I'd love to meet anyone who wishes something was more like fucking Twitter. I've certainly never been asked, and frankly, if I were, I'd answer with a resounding fuck no. Fuck no, do I need exposure to more human beings when I decide to play a video game? If anything, the existence of Twitter and Facebook should be an argument for less social interaction in our escapist entertainment, where the key word is escape. I'd much rather get lost in my own solo experience after dealing with fucking people all day long. There's
a lot of escapism that comes into video games, right? A lot of people like to play a video game to get the fuck away from other people. You know what I mean? It's like you sit there, this is how I've been at least. Like, I'll sit there and I'm not going to give a fuck. Like, I can sit there, I can have an annoying day that pisses me off, and I can sit down on WoW and I can take my anger out on my level 110 rogue on a level 60 character questing in Hellfire Peninsula, and I pop him the fuck off and I feel better about myself. Maybe I do some world quests. Maybe I achieve a small goal in the game, right? I do something that's going to take my mind off of the bullshit that I've just had to endure. And these are good things. These are very good things. Escapism is important. And he's right whenever you say that whenever you introduce these real-life constructs into the video games, it makes the, I guess, like the escapism more transparent. Because whenever you have a million pop culture references and Twitter integration and, you know, live stream bonus items and then items in the game that just look like the logos from the different esports organizations that are competing on a professional level about the game, you're not playing a game on the same level as you were in, you know, like 2001, for example.
Social interaction coming at our asses, and it's becoming more and more evident through the prevalence of social networking and the horror it brings that the biggest mistake humanity ever made was getting to know itself better.
That's true.
I expect Wilson and game industry executives like him to increasingly lean on the idea that we, the people, demand more social interactions in our games. In a recent interview, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot beamed about how tech advancements for game hardware offer more intelligent game worlds with deeper systems, the ability to play with more friends, and have more social interactions. Wahoo!
That's not bad. Like, that's not bad at all. I think that, like, having, like, the social interactions and, like, interacting with people and everything, that's good. Like, how is that bad? The issue, right, in my opinion, right, I don't know what his opinion is on it, we'll see, but in my opinion, I don't like whenever you have these fucking games, and they're built around, like, real-life social systems, right, like Twitter and Facebook and shit. Like, social integration into video games is fine, but I do also know that I'm a bit of a, you know, an anomaly. Many people like to play games solo by themselves without anybody else. They like single-player games. I'm not a person into that kind of stuff, but other people are, and I guess I can respect that, right?
Similar to the ways in which the industry pushed the whole single-player games are dead bullshit, the industry is going to work overtime to sell this idea that video games must be, in their own twist.
Here's why they do that. This is the reason why they do that. I want to say this. This is simple. Last 20 minutes. No, it hasn't been 20 minutes. It's been a little bit longer. Here's why they do it. Is because they want people to. It's like multiplayer games do better on Twitch. They do better on YouTube. And that type of advertising is basically free advertising for those companies. So what they do is they want to make games that are the next Fortnite. Like every game developer out there right now is, how can we make the next Fortnite? That's all they care about. That's what they're all about, because they want to be able to make money. And that's why I think they're doing it so much like this. It's just because of this. Yeah, Mount God, by the way. I'm going to get the mount here.
Way social media platforms. And while there is and always will be plenty of room in the marketplace for social interaction, multiplayer and live service games, I fully believe there's a reason why cyborgs like Andrew Wilson are yelling the word social at any given opportunity.
I wonder why.
Normalizing the idea that it's an expected feature of pretty much every mainstream game churned out. The reason is, of course, money. More specifically, money from so-called whales, the customers prized by game makers for their willingness to spend large amounts of money on in-game purchases. Yep, it all comes down once again to flogging microtransactions.
I would have never expected that.
And if we take a look at a little talk given by Jussi Lakonen? Metal Gear. Anyway, if you take a look at this talk, it'll show exactly why publishers are so interested in social networking.
About the money curve on how you make revenue on free-to-play games, you got non-payers, you got moderate payers, you got heavy payers, and you got even what we call super whales. What makes these people...
A super whale? Like, really? You're going to call them a super whale? I don't know why. I think that's fucking funny. Super whales. And they don't even have like that. Yeah, heavy payers. Like, they don't even have normal whales. There's just like heavy payers and then super whales. We need to watch this one too. I don't know when we'll have time for it, but we'll have to watch it soon.
People tick. And how do you attract them? The people who spend money.
Yeah.
How do whales find your game? What is engagement to these people? What makes them tick? And how do they share? So,
I want to just stop right here and talk to you about the focus. This is a seminar or some sort of like a whatever the fuck, right? Presentation about video games. And the focus on this is not how to attract a lot of players. It's not how to create a rewarding experience. It's how to attract super whales. That's it. That's what their focus is. That's what they care about.
I'm going to try to complete the loop. How do these people find, how do they get stuck, and how do they bring more people into a game?
How do they get stuck? Something tells me that wasn't the optimal choice of word, and yet it reveals
getting
so much.
Stuck in the game.
In a prior video, we looked at how addiction-based gameplay is allowing the game industry to make money from vulnerable players. And
the best part about that, right, we watched this one, the best part about that is you have some fucking dumbass who spends $100 on the game, and then what are they gonna do? Are they going to go play another game? No, because they just spent $100 on this one. So you get that sunk cost fallacy working in their fucking head, and then they start giving you more $100 because now they're invested. They want to put more money into it. Why not just take this game all the way rather than start off on a new game? Right? This is the same thing that I am with WoW, right? Like, I don't want to play another game because I'm just so fucking invested in WoW. Instead of wasting $100, I waste 100 hours.
Looked at a gloating presentation given by a mobile studio CEO, Torolf Jernström, who explained in shocking and disgusting detail how in-game purchases psychologically trick people into spending money. Lakonen's talk, titled Getting Inside the Heads of F2P Players Who Spend $50 a Month, is less despicable in comparison, but it's nonetheless an eye-opener in relation to this push for social networking that we've seen in games.
Getting inside their heads. You have to figure out what makes that dumb fucking super whale tick. What's gonna just get his dick hard whenever he fucking sends you another $50 for the month, man. Like, that's what gaming's about now. It's not about having fun. It's not about enjoying yourself. I tagged the rest for it. Don't worry about it. It's not about anything. It's about getting those, like, what makes those super whales tick. That's what it's about, man. Yeah, how can I get somebody to buy a store mount every month?
costs. The talk broadens the concept of whales to differentiate between heavy spenders who spend around $10 a month on a game and what Laconin calls super whales, the most desirable sort who can be expected to spend upwards of $50 a month.
The most desirable sort.
Play into this because we're in our survey we're primarily interested in how does social affect whales. And there's not a huge amount of difference when we think about this. Social features are important for everybody. We didn't see a huge differential when we added into the heavy payers and the super whales. But fundamentally, what's interesting is we think about whales being somehow psychologically sick people who just play alone and they don't have any life.
Yes.
They're clearly more interested into getting involved in the social features. Social features help in retention. It reinforces that when you go into the game and start spending money, you want to engage with other people. This is really interesting.
Which is why, what he's saying is actually very true, and I'm gonna talk about this. This is gonna be just a minute here, okay? This is another irrelevant personal anecdote to artificially extend the video length. So, the idea that I had with spitting on people for buying the store mounts works directly against what he's saying. The reason why super whales and people that like to spend a lot of money on games want to show that off is because there's a positive social outcome for that. If you create a negative social outcome for somebody spending money on the game, they will have that. There will be one fewer thing that they can do and gain satisfaction out of their money being spent. So if you remove a reward, you can usually, sometimes, depending on what it is, stop the behavior. So if you create a negative social consequence for something, it removes the satisfaction that a person gets for buying the item.
Making new in-game friends, in-game chatting, and responding to challenges, and these things are really standing out.
Yep, they want to stand out.
In the last slide, everybody was roughly equal on the social spectrum, slightly more for the super whales. Then, when we started really looking into specific features, the super whales are really starting to stand apart.
Here, the whale hunter discusses that social networking is something whales of all stripes love. He also tries to push back on the idea that whale hunting is problematic and targets the psychologically vulnerable because whales have friends, which isn't really a justification. Many problem gamblers and shopping addicts have friends. In fact, social media...
I think what they're trying to say is that, like, people that are whales are just like Wall Street executives with too much money on their hands, and so they don't mind spending $200 on some sort of a phone game, right? That's what they're trying to say, but as usual, they're not really doing a very good job saying it. And it doesn't mean that those people don't gamble as well.
Your addiction is itself a thing. Just being social doesn't mean you can't be unethically targeted by predatory monetization, but I digress. The point is, social interaction isn't so attractive to the industry because we're all necessarily demanding it, but it's sure as hell important to the industry because the whales seemingly like it. And
there it is. I want you guys to listen to what he's saying here and then listen to this. Because the whales are the ones that bring in the most money, they are the ones that the games are designed around. So whenever you look at a new video game and you see a monetization scheme, think about how does this bring in whales?
As always, I'd like to take a moment just to point out how dehumanizing I think the term whales is. I'm just surprised that the industry hasn't dropped the veil over its contempt and just started calling them cattle.
Whether it be things like Clash of Clans providing clan system where you can buddy up with other people or with your existing friends, or maybe the new MOBA type of games that are coming along, they're all tapping into this feature which are about playing together or playing against somebody. And to me, that's something, if you're working towards a free-to-play game that really you have to think about whales. I think you really need to start thinking about social as a key driver for these people.
If we look at the mobile gaming...
All the people that are at Mission Boy with the 20 more gifted community subs. Thank you so much, Mission Boy. Holy shit. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Thank you, dude. Yeah, by the way, good pause here. The social interactions with like these different types of games and everything are what really keeps those people engaged. That's the same reason why people like posting screenshots on WoW whenever they get an item that's really special to them, or like they get invincible or something like that. So whales get that same sense of satisfaction or fulfillment whenever they're able to post that they were able to buy something in the game. Right, there it is. Thank you very much, Mission Boy, again. Thank you, super. People give subs to whales of Twitch. They're something. They're the saints of Twitch, okay? They give everybody else the ability to use my emotes. And it's a true privilege to be able to use Asmongold. You know, it's really, really special. Truly amazing. Right, okay, let's go.
Testing ground for monetization that makes its way to AAA video games as it seems to be, then it's not hard to see why Android Wilson has such a massive fuck-off boner for social gaming right now. This talk, where super whales were named as retained and driven by social interaction, was delivered in 2014. Not too long before mainstream companies jumped aboard the live service bandwagon in droves. Games like Clash of Clans have long been an obsession for big budget game publishers who see the mountains of cash they make and want to replicate that financial decadence for themselves. In fact, it was in 2014 that I published a video titled The Unholy Trinity of Blind Greedy Bastards, where I discussed how game publishers only see and care about 3 games: Call of Duty, Candy Crush, and of course, Clash of Clans. I learned this from talks with folks within the industry, and in the years since I published it, it's only become more and more clear that these games are indeed the most influential games of their time for all Fortnite the wrong reasons. But incidentally, Clash of Clans is one of several games mentioned in a recent BBC report about kids being tricked into spending hundreds and thousands of pounds of their parents' money on video games aimed specifically at children. And also, totally incidentally, we're seeing ever more so-called AAA games doing the same thing, especially FIFA, which is rated as suitable for kids aged 3 and up, yet thanks to in-game gambling now needs more parental supervision than fucking Doom ever did.
Yeah, that's right. So in Doom, your kid could see blood, but in FIFA, he's gonna clean out your retirement account. I mean, that's actually, you know, which one is worse? I mean, it's really kind of hard to say. I mean, here's the thing with like FIFA and these other fucking games, dude, is that they want to target a casual audience. Nobody wants to really go after neckbeards because neckbeards see through this stuff. Neckbeards want to earn things. They care about this kind of stuff. They want to go for a casual audience that watches reality TV and listens to mainstream news. That's what they are going after. And I know this sounds like really, really conspiracy driven, but I almost feel like Blizzard has intentionally alienated the hardcore types of their games so they can push out more free-to-play features in a paid game and not have as many people complain about it. I know that's like super, like, I don't know, like tinfoil hat, but that's the way that I see things, okay?
Networking also brings with it social pressure. For many years, people have argued microtransactions and loot boxes are okay if the items are just cosmetic. And I've pushed back against that defense the whole time. Cosmetics are particularly insidious because they create a haves and have-nots economy where people are pressured into spending to keep up with their friends.
Think about this. What really is the difference between like a Lamborghini and a Toyota Corolla? It's basically cosmetic. I mean, really, it's cosmetic. Like, you can't drive 200 miles an hour in a Lamborghini. You have to obey the traffic laws. Like, no, really, think about it. Like, functionally, it's cosmetic. Like, yes, obviously, Lamborghini can go faster and, you know, everything like that. But you still have to obey the traffic laws. You still can't do all kinds of crazy shit that the Lamborghini's, like, created to do. Like, you don't have to? Yeah, you do. Not for Germans. Yeah, exactly. Track days. You bring it to track? My God. Okay. Well, just take any other car. A Corvette. Think about a Porsche. Lamborghini is an extreme example. The expensive cars that people buy are mostly to show status. Like, are we really going to debate the fact that people buy expensive cars to show off social status? Are you guys really thinking that doesn't happen? They're doing it for a cosmetic reason. Cosmetics drive everything. Why do you think, you buy a Gucci handbag for $1,700? Is it really that much better than a normal handbag at Target? No. But it shows other people that you're better than they are because you can buy Gucci and they can't. It's cosmetic. Functionally, it's all cosmetic.
A few people called me an idiot for arguing this
Yep.
back in the day,
Yep.
but now we're in an age where kids at school are being bullied for not having any premium skins in Fortnite, where default
Imagine kids bullying each other for who can spend the most money on fake products that you don't even own on a for-profit corporation. Like, if I was a gaming executive, holy fuck, dude, I would dream of that. Imagine, like, you know, a completely, like, organic social pressure to give you money. That's beautiful.
has become a derogatory term for those who don't spend on in-game items.
Yep.
And all this time, men like Torolf Janstrom were explicitly instructing developers on how to use peer pressure to their financial advantage.
We are herd animals, we tend to do what all of the others do.
Yep.
You all sit quiet listening to me because that's what all of the other guys do here.
Thanks for fun. It's obvious.
Especially when people are similar to us.
We've seen this before.
This means that you should have the socially accepted way of behaving in your game should be paying. You
True.
want to tell people, for instance, when a clan member of theirs spend IAP money, you want the whole clan to know. Because
Remember what we did whenever I said this the first time? Let's see. Sizets, thank you very much for resubscribing. Rolly Rods, Skipfoot, HD. Gotcha, thanks for the $3, man. Dangerous part of monetization that targets people with addictive tendencies. Unfortunately, whales are not just rich people. I know people that are not well off that are blowing 5K on a mobile game. They have remorse similar to gambling loss. Yeah. It's the same thing on Twitch. Everybody does this. In order to get people to pay more money, you create some sort of like a social advantage they have for doing that. I mean, like, obviously, it just makes sense. I guess it's the other one over there. Just a second. Yeah, it's just common sense. 8.2.5 PTR. We'll look at the patch notes after this, okay? Let me just focus on this right now, though.
then that becomes the socially acceptable way of behaving.
Yep.
You absolutely do not want to tell them that the majority of people in your game never spend money.
No.
That's poison. Never tell them that.
Yeah,
Everybody
who's
in
the
this
fucking
chat is
idiot
subbed.
now? Of course, the ability for social interaction to coax money out of people is a fairly old concept. It's how some of the most evil names in the game industry got their start. In 2009, 10 years ago, Farmville arrived to ruin the world. A seductive...
Sorry, guys. I just want to have a quick midlife crisis, realizing 2009 was 10 years ago. Better times. 2009 wasn't even a good year for me. It was a bad year. The only good thing about 2009 was my guild getting back together, and WoW. 2009 fucking sucked. 2010 was badass though.
Addictive farm management sim, much of what microtransaction-fueled games are known for were popularized, maybe not invented, but entirely popularized by Zynga's Facebook-based agriculture em-up. Premium currencies, frustrating wait periods on activities, purchasable items. It was a classic free-to-play structure that would mutate into the fucked-up addiction-based economies that now rake in billions and billions of dollars for companies like EA and Activision.
The good part about Farmville is that it targeted people that weren't used to the different mechanisms and mechanics that video games usually have. So Farmville did a really good job at getting people that weren't gamers involved and addicted to the game, because it's like kind of like Animal Crossing or whatever. It gets old people, it gets soccer moms, it gets the non-traditional gamers invested and addicted to the game. And that's where you really make the most money, because they haven't been fucked over a million times, so they're willing to just do whatever the hell. You know what I mean? That's what that's what makes Farmville so special.
And of course, Farmville was inherently social in its structure, being housed most famously on Facebook, and utilizing Facebook's own features to spread knowledge of the game to everyone on the network. Players were encouraged to spam their friends with requests and would gain rewards for helping each other out. It kept people playing, it had them keeping up with each other, and naturally, it made a shit ton of cash in the process. At its peak, Farmville boasted 83.76 million active active users a month. And while its popularity declined sharply after 2011, the legacy it left behind, the lessons it taught the industry, are stronger than ever. Its addictive gameplay loop of repetitive busywork and chores has been replicated thousands of times over in the intervening decade, taken to new peaks of audacity with mindlessly cyclical premium games like Anthem, which unmistakably share huge amounts of DNA with Farmville. Many, if not most, of these modern live service games are just Farmville writ large. They might have combat added in, more shit to do, and a bit of narrative draped around it, but the philosophy is the same. When microtransactions came to Dead Space 3, Visceral's John Calhoun notoriously tried to justify them by saying mobile gamers expected them, so they were added to the distinctly non-mobile game. There's a lot of players out there, especially players coming from mobile games, who are accustomed to microtransactions, Calhoun.
They're used to getting fucked in the ass, so why aren't you like everybody else? Just get used to it.
Told CVG. They're like, I need this now, I want this now. They need instant gratification, so we included that option in order to attract those players, so that if they're 5,000 tungsten short of this upgrade, they can have it. Ironically, as we all know, EA CEO Android Wilson needs tungsten to live. At the time, this statement from an EA thrall was mocked and laughed at. Why on earth would you put something in there for mobile players who are called mobile players because they play on fucking mobile systems? Looking back, however,
I don't even care that they say this. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Do you know what I do care about, though? Is whenever you have these fucking people, these corporate defenders, the Activision Defense Force, that comes out and says and rationalizes all of these different terrible fucking things these games do, and they're defending the companies. Like, the blind fanboys are 1,000 times worse than the actual people that are doing it, because the people that are doing it, I know why they're doing it, to make money. Yeah, duh. But why the fuck is Bill, the Facebook idiot that live streams on Facebook for 6 viewers, complaining because somebody else doesn't want to buy a microtransaction? You don't even have stock in the company. You don't give a fuck. But you're somehow defending this. And that's what I really don't fucking like, is people that are defending this stuff, even though they get nothing out of it, right? Because at least the people that are doing it are defending it because they make money off of it. It's like they're defending getting fucked in the ass, and they're saying, hey, try this. It's great.
And seeing how insidiously woven into the fabric of the market microtransactions have become, what Calhoun says now takes on a darker tone. It was a portent of things to come, as well as a candid glimpse into what these executives were thinking. Because in the context of today's market, perhaps what he said wasn't all that stupid. I mean, they got what they wanted, didn't they? They wanted to emulate the avaricious economies of mobile games where knee-jerk purchases, addictive spending, and social pressure make billions.
Well, if you're avaricious, you go to, what is it, the 4th or the 3rd circle of hell? Hopefully the developers will go even farther than that. We'll see.
Oh, they did. They did copy these things. You wouldn't see them be that blunt about it these days, but back then, what Calhoun said was a bit of honesty. They were just copying the successful shit they saw in mobile games to make money.
Yeah,
naturally, this honesty is still dressed up in a bunch of insincere bullshit, but the nucleus of truth is plain as day. Calhoun, way back in 2013, the year of Luigi, outlined exactly, how they expected to make money by frustrating players and exploiting their frayed patience. I need this now.
There it is. There it fucking is. Right there. Intentionally creating roadblocks that microtransactions allow you to bypass. That is the way that fucking games work nowadays. Every fucking game has this shit. You have a roadblock and it's like, oh wow, well you can't fucking do this, but if you spend the money, now you can do it. Think about the fucking level boost. What did they do after the level boost? They made leveling take longer. They do this shit fucking everywhere. Why is it? Because there's a profit incentive of making it happen. This is a problem. You don't open this door for it because then people are going to walk through it. They should have never fucking added this shit into the game in the first place. I can't criticize them for doing it now because they're doing it to make the shareholders happy. The problem is the fact that they opened the door in the first place, because it's just going to get worse and worse. The thing with the convenience, pay for convenience features is it creates a profit incentive to make the game without those features inconvenient. I am so fucking sick of this shit, dude. It happens in WoW. It happens in WoW, and it's a paid game. You pay a sub for it, still happens. What the fuck? Can somebody invite me to roll Rust Feathers up?
I want this now, he says. I need this now. I want this now.
Yep.
I shouldn't have laughed at that mobile player's line back in 2013.
Yep.
Because right now, in 2019, it's not a joke. It's just the way things are.
It's
and
certainly
while
not
all this
funny.
is going on, we have mobile game executives delivering their little presentations about how you should trick players into spending for instant gratification. How
Yep.
peer pressure should be used to make spending the socially acceptable.
This guy loves store mounts right here. This guy fucking loves it. It's his favorite thing. His favorite mount, guess what his favorite mount is? Hogrus. Like, he loves that mount so much.
Norm, and how these super whales love social interactivity more than anyone else. Just like when the game industry told you that you don't like linear, story-driven, single-player games, the game industry wants to tell you that you want all your games to be social, that
Yep.
it's as important to your experience in a game as it is to Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat, and it's a crock of shit. So
True!
social gaming has its place, but its mass adoption by the AAA game industry is a fucking scam. A long con. Yet another way,
Yep.
on top of the by now absurd number of ways in which video game publishers plan to swindle, trick, and seduce cash out of you. And just to reiterate the most important aspect, I don't like people. Who fucking does? As we firmly established over the years, game publishers don't produce things simply because people want them. Obviously, they do things there's a market for, but the sole reason, the primary reason, is not because people want stuff.
No.
If they produced things just because people wanted them, there wouldn't be so many Kickstarters for things people want. No. They do things because they
Yep.
sense an opportunity to make extreme
That's a good way to look at
amounts
it.
of money. Not just a good amount of money, a moderate amount of money, even an impressive amount of money. As we have talked about for many years on this show, game publishers don't just want money, they want
All the
all
money.
of the money in the world.
Hey!
That's why we
True.
can't just have whales anymore for these people. They don't just have whales, they have their heavy spenders and their super whales.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. They just keep wanting more. Well, we don't want whales anymore. We want super whales. What are they going to want after that? Fucking Godzilla? I don't know. This is insane.
Because they've hit the limit, I guess, on just focusing on all of the whales. Now they need to find out how to finely tune themselves to get their psychological
Omega
hooks in
whales.
people who are even more willing to spend money than the people who are already
Yeah.
willing to spend loads of money. There is no end to what they do. There is no limit to what they want. That's why monetization has gotten worse and worse and worse. And I've asked on this show before, where does it end? Where does it end when we have a game coming out? And we have a game with multiple deluxe editions, silver editions, gold editions, half a dozen different collectors.
The Best Buy edition, the pre-order edition, the pre-order at Best Buy edition, the EB Games edition, the Walmart edition, the Walmart bundle pack edition with the console that also allows you to access a certain character that's only accessible by buying it through Walmart. There's the Amazon edition, the Amazon Prime edition, the Amazon Prime rewards if you buy the game with Amazon Prime. There's 8 of 6 different consoles. Yeah, I mean, this is the intellectual edition. Well, that edition is not buying the game at all. But listen, this is crazy. There's too many fucking editions.
Editions, microtransactions, season passes, sponsored tie-ins with energy drinks, and of course loot boxes as an evolution of the microtransactions, because simply making perpetual money off people wasn't enough. While multiplayer and social networking even in games does have a place. It's becoming quite clear that these things are mass adopted not because they have a place, but because they can be used to displace what video games are in order to trick and swindle more and more money out of people. This whole social networking approach to video games, while not widely adopted, while not so deeply baked into games yet, it's something I think is coming. It's something these publishers definitely are keeping their eye on. When you have Andrew Wilson saying that social networking is just as important in games as it is on actual social media platforms.
Well, it's certainly more important than gameplay to them. That's true.
You can sort of smell where the wind is blowing. And yes, I meant to say smell which way the wind is blowing, because the moment the wind blows in your direction, you can just pick up the hint of shit from the horizon. Because that's what big, massive game publishers are doing right now. Shit. Utter, outright shit. Anyway, thank you to the people in Alabama who came out, Jimquisition fans who came out to the Piedmont show in Alabama, where Sterling appeared for Pro South Wrestling. If you're in Pittsburgh, August 3rd at the Rise Stronghold. Why not come and check it out? It'll probably maybe be good. And
Hey.
you can all, whether you're there
That's as
or
committal
not,
as me.
thank God for me. Wouldn't that be nice for you, Goddamn thick venom.
Okay, dude. Okay, dude.
Everybody's thinking about me.
Okay. So, I like the video. Obviously, I like the video. So, obviously, I would love to get Jim Sterling on my stream and talk to him. I'd love to do that. I like a lot of his videos, and I think that he has the good amount of cynicism and skepticism, and, I think he doesn't like what the gaming industry has become as much as I do. I'll be honest whenever I say that. I guess it's just that's stupid to say, but one of the big reasons why I don't play a lot of games now is because I feel like a lot of the monetization, like microtransaction strategies, make me feel like I can never achieve completion in the game. And because of that, I don't really care a lot about even continuing or beginning the game. It's like, unless I can complete a game fully, I don't want to continue and play it. It's just kind of a mentality thing for me personally. Having him for a big circle jerk? Well, fuck yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, look, if Andrew Wilson wants to come on my stream, I'd love to have that too. Like, this is the thing, right? I mean, I'd love to have people that defend this stuff as well. I'm usually willing to talk to basically anyone about a subject, even if they disagree with me, as long as they're not going to be fucking crazy about it. There's still games like PoE, though. Well, you're right. And there are games that actually do have ethical microtransaction strategies. And I do say that I'm fine with certain types of microtransactions, especially whenever a game is free. And I think that's the main, to me personally, that is the main difference that I have. If a game is free, I'm generally okay with it. If a game is not free, I'm generally not okay with it. And let's say, hypothetically, if a game is, you have to pay for the game, and let's say this game creates expansions for the game that you have to pay for periodically, and then you have to pay on, like, I don't know, like maybe a weekly or, no, that's too often, like a monthly basis. It's just monthly basis. Seems like kind of reasonable. Like a monthly basis to play on this game. I don't think that a game that has that type of monetization strategy should also have microtransactions. It just seems a little bit too much. Just a little bit, you know? I don't know, man. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, I love this video. It's fucking great. This is exactly what I had wanted to see. The social networking on game is just so they can get people advertising their games for free. That's the same thing with Farmville. I knew about Farmville because some dumb fucking girl from my high school was like, oh, if you fucking join my Farmville thing, I get an extra carrot. Some kind of stupid shit like that. So obviously nobody likes that trash at all. The art and love games is gone. Well, the thing is, like, the people that love the games, it's like they still have like a certain amount of like really great art and everything. It's the systems that are the problem. The systems are what really fucks you in the ass. Everything else is basically fine. The systems and like the progression curve of games are really what's been corrupted. My skin crawls whenever they talk about consuming content. If they want to give players a choice, why not just include cheat codes or an option for infinite items? It makes their microtransaction argument dead in the water. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that, like, this whole idea that, like, you know, these companies are creating microtransactions, and there's people that really believe this because they're stupid. They're creating microtransactions out of the goodness of their heart because they know that some people don't have the time to play the game as much, and the only way to reconcile that is to allow them to spend their hard-earned cash to go ahead and do it even faster. Well, that's basically what it is, and I mean, it's just crazy to me. It's just really crazy to me that people buy this. As I said, I don't even give a fuck. I don't even give a fuck about the whole thing with people that are, people that are doing this for money, right? If somebody makes a mobile game and it's completely predatory, I'm okay with that. I get it, because they want to steal other people's money and succeed and make money off of them. What I don't like is because, like, they get something out of it, right? I never, here's a bit of advice. Never fault people for acting in self-interest. Your videos about microtransactions and loot boxes should be a lecture at school. Well, it is on my stream. Younger generations and people need to get informed in general about this. I dare to even say that you should get an education award for your work in this matter. I don't know about an education award, but I'll give them a like. The video was good. Facebook sure does make a ton of money. Could we produce our own competing service? We make games, though. What's your point, EA? Yeah, you're right. I think that really the worst one of this, right? The worst one is I bought a mouse from Razer. I bought a Death Adder, which actually was very true to its name because it died. But I bought a Death Adder, and they wanted me to join the Razer social network. Like, a social network for a mouse? Like, are you fucking serious? Like, is this a joke? What about WoW going mobile? Well, I want WoW to be mobile. I know a lot of people are mad whenever I say that, but I think they should make a mobile version of WoW. Maybe just for pet battles to begin with. I think that'd be good for the game. It'd keep people engaged more. Yeah, GeForce Experience, Corsair, yeah, etc. Yeah, it would be stupid. No, it wouldn't. The problem, this is the problem. Mobile games are not fundamentally bad. They're not fundamentally bad. The reason that they're bad is they target a casual mainstream audience that will pay for convenience items, because gamers don't do that as much. So the reason they're bad is the approach that the companies have to them. They're not fundamentally bad just based off of the nature of them being phone games. I think that people should realize that. I don't know why more people don't, honestly. We need to start the conversation to de-incentivize the targeting of vulnerable classes. Of people. Cognitive science is deeply rooted in many of the systems that we interact with online. Well, exactly. You're totally right. The way that they do this is all about trying to manipulate people into making money. That's right. It's all about trying to make people feel good, try to make them feel special for their, getting their items, etc. Right? Hear me out. What if instead of Mobile Classic, they made an auction house app for retail WoW? I'd love that. I would love that. I think that they should do more for mobile games in WoW, or for mobile people in WoW. Them not doing that, I think, is bad for the game. And, like, that's the thing, is that you can't even have, like, a normal conversation about mobile gaming now because it's so polluted by the idea of microtransactions. Mobile gaming fundamentally could be a way to get people engaged and invested in the game whenever they're not able to be on their computer. It could be great for the game, but we can never talk about that because these fucking jackasses keep making these systems that prey on soccer moms that have a gambling complex. That's what it is. What a cock. What a fucking cock.